Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining. I'm your host, Kim Jordan, and welcome to the Village. So glad that you were able to come back and join me again. This has been such an exciting journey, and I'm so glad that you're here taking it with me. I want to share something funny before we got into this, before we move forward. Um, like and share, all the good stuff. Please comment, interact with one another. This is a village. And so all of us together make this thing work. So, but during this time, during the pandemic, I'm not able to go to the gym, as I don't know if some of you are, but I'm not going. So because I'm not going, I decided to start doing YouTube videos on the television. And I found this one that was like really high impact. I'm telling you right now, it sent me to bed at 8 o'clock the other day because I did too much and tried to go gung ho and it didn't work out. So I'm saying all that to say it's COVID, it's a pandemic, and I need you to still stay in shape, stay active, and keep yourself away from the cookies. And if you're going to get the cookies, please, by all means, raise your foot every now and then to get some exercise in, right? So that's my little commercial or my station identification. And I have a very special guest tonight, and I'm super duper excited, right? This gentleman, let me tell you, he is a subject matter expert on what recruiters are looking for on resumes. He has 20 plus years in the of technology staffing. And the most important part, he is my former Rockstar manager. Village, help me welcome Chris Tamalas.
Hello, Kim. First and foremost, thank you so much for allowing me to come on to your show. I think it's absolutely fantastic that you give back to the community. It's wonderful to see your beautiful smile again, and it's just nice to reconnect, and I feel it's an honor and a privilege to be on this show and help cascade a nice message to your audience. So thank you so much. I'm excited.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for accepting the invitation. Listen, yes. Everyone, Chris is a manager that really has a culture that's empowering. We put our head down, we worked hard, and we also laughed hard. So that's what gave me the platform to be able to reach back out to him and have this conversation. So, Chris, you're in the staffing industry, is that right?
That is correct. Right now I manage a consulting company, all technology based, centered in the Atlanta market, but I know that I'll be able to give some great advice irrespective of your location. But every day we're working as hard as we can to place people in new opportunities, even during this challenging time.
And so has that been has it been difficult more now because of COVID to do placements, or has the orders that come in decreased at all?
So there's been a pullback in the market, as you can imagine. So the one thing I always like to do is make sure that we are operating in the most efficient manner. So I had to realign our strategy, and we had to realign the conversations that we were having with candidates, the conversations we were having with our clients. And it has been a challenging year. We've still been able to have pockets of success, and we're still putting great individuals to work and still out there in the community. But there has been a pullback. We are cautiously optimistic the first quarter of next year, things are going to ramp up a lot faster. We're just trying to really help as many people as we can. Even if we don't have an opportunity, we're willing to have conversations and just be an added resource for those people in the market, even during this time.
Okay. And so what would you say are some good tools to leverage when looking for a job during COVID?
So it's almost overwhelming and daunting how many tools out there in the market. Where do you even start? So a couple of different factors on that point. The first one is communication. So I would communicate with my friends, my neighbors. I would have conversations with people to find out maybe companies that are hiring or things that they're hearing in the market or seeing or reading. Obviously, there's a lot of news out there right now on companies, whether it's positive or negative. It helps you steer yourself in the right direction. But the number one tool in the market by far, in my opinion, is LinkedIn. And we're going to spend a couple of minutes here in a little bit talking about the right way to leverage LinkedIn. But if I can leave the group today and leave you with one sounding board, I would say LinkedIn is probably going to be one of the best tools you can use to identify another opportunity, irrespective of the market, the technology you're looking to do, whether it's a different field. I can't say enough great things about LinkedIn.
Yeah, I honestly love LinkedIn. And when I was recruiting, that was one of my favorite tools to go to find people that were working, try to snatch them away from their job and entice them with my job.
You did a great job at it. You were very successful.
I was, but I learned a lot from you. So definitely that. And then I think one of the other things is, Chris, LinkedIn do the companies have to pay to advertise a job on LinkedIn, or is
That is correct. That is correct. So my organization has a membership to LinkedIn as us being an employer, and it costs us a lot of money to advertise the jobs on LinkedIn. But because of our following and our presence on LinkedIn, we do receive a lot of great applicants that way. But companies are spending a lot of money to advertise their opportunities on LinkedIn, and it's the best analogy I can give you. It's like the Facebook of technology. It's an organizational footprint out there for everyone to see. It's just an amazing way to navigate through a lot of different companies and find connections with a lot of great people. It's an amazing tool.
I love it. I love it. What advice do you have for someone that wants to transition into the technology industry?
Great question. The first thing I want to say is it's never too late to enter the technical field. I think it's very important that people understand it's an industry that is recession proof, that will never go anywhere, because companies are always modernizing their technology platforms. So the advice I would give someone would be to really start researching a list of companies that they're excited about potentially working for, and then identifying if they have entry-level positions on LinkedIn or on their personal websites. I think one of the biggest challenges and mistakes people make when they try to enter a new industry is they're not very organized and they don't know where to start. I think it's really important to maybe write down your top 10 companies that you'd like to work for in the area that you're in, and then start doing more extensive research on those specific companies instead of searching aimlessly, just trying to find an opportunity anywhere. I think it's important you have a valid direction of where you want to go and why.
Okay. So if someone is wanting to get into the industry, what type entry level jobs might they focus on that won't require, years of going to school? Because of course their waitress job is gone, right? And their restaurant's gone out of business. So now they need to start doing something else. Where are you suggesting they start?
So it depends. It's a subjective question. It depends on what trajectory they want to go. So I'll give you two different paths to go. The first one would be help desk support in a technical environment. So you start to get exposed to some of the technologies and some of the systems. So when you're searching for a position, I would look for technical support. I would look for entry-level help desk. These are opportunities where companies are always looking to train and mentor and coach new individuals, and you don't have to have that fancy degree with all the bells and whistles. They just need somebody that has a good aptitude, a good work ethic, and somebody who wants to come in and really learn the industry. The other path, which is very, very popular, is development. And as you know, development is an 800-pound beast, right? So what we want to do is look for entry-level development opportunities where companies are willing to train and coach and mentor you as an individual coming in. There is something called development boot camps, and after the show, I'd be happy to send you a couple of links to help the audience. There are 12-week online classes that you can take. They're not that expensive, and it gives you an introduction to coding, development, programming, and at the end, it's really cool. They give you a certificate. You've now become certified in the boot camp that you went to, and you have a little bit of experience under your belt, and now it's time for real-world application. So, if there's two candidates vying for one position and one person has gone through a boot camp and taken a certification and another one hasn't, the hiring manager is probably going to lean towards the person that's gone through, has done a project, has done some coding, because at the end of the day, these clients want people that are passionate about what they're doing, they're excited, and they actually know which direction they want to go. Because as you know, Kim, aptitude, personality, attitude, those carry so much weight in this industry. So if you're looking for a way to differentiate yourself in this market and looking to transition into a new sector, you have to bring your A game, high attitude, high personality, high energy, and passion and excitement. You really have to show that I'm so excited about this, and here's why, and I'll do everything it takes to be successful.
Yes, yes, yes. That has always been something that I use when coaching applicants for their interview, and all their follow-up skills after the interview, sending the thank you letter, and and all that. So I do totally agree with that. What are some key things people should be doing when looking for a job?
So we touched on a little bit of it, which is, having your target list of companies.
Yeah.
Another thing that I like people to do is to do a lot of research. And when you start reviewing some of these opportunities online and you start reading some of the job descriptions, you really have to put yourself in a situation and say, is this something I'm going to be comfortable doing? Is this something I'm going to be happy doing? Because the job descriptions sometimes are pretty overwhelming. But you have to understand, if you're going into development and you're going into the tech sector, it's sitting in front of a computer, 8 to 9 hours a day. You're not having a lot of interaction with people. You're staring at 3 screens. Sometimes you're going to need to get up and take a break and walk around the block, right? That's what it is. If you're a people person and you like interaction and you like being fun and you like that collaborative environment, you need to go into a different field because it's very siloed, and you're given a lot of work, and the deadlines are pretty tight, and it's all about delivering the code. So it's heads down, every single day, day in, day out. You have to make sure that you're passionate about that. So I hesitate with certain advice because I want to make sure that you're doing the research and doing all the things to really understand and just talk to different people and research these descriptions. These companies have put a lot of time into evaluating these opportunities, and they want to make sure that the people coming in are going to be there, because you have to understand, if a company makes an investment on you coming into the industry, they're going to want you to stay long term, right? I don't train someone for 6 to 9 months and then they come and tell me this isn't really what I wanted to do. I'm going to transition elsewhere. So it's just a lot of extensive research needs to be done.
Okay. So is it harder to look for a job now versus pre-COVID?
It is a little bit harder, and I think that's across the board. And it's because there's less opportunities out there and there's more people looking, but we are still successfully placing individuals. There are still individuals that are landing new opportunities. In the last 3 weeks, we have seen an uptick in business, which is a positive thing, but I don't sugarcoat things. It is a lot harder than it used to be. Is it going to be like this forever? No. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Absolutely. I think it's just us having the time and patience to really help individuals. And I talked to a gentleman today. He was in transition. He's had struggles looking for another opportunity. And my advice to him is try to pick something that you can better yourself in the next 3 to 6 months, whether it's a certification, whether it's reading some technology books, because eventually we are going to find you an opportunity, and that client is going to ask you, how did you occupy your time? What did you do the last 3 to 6 months? And there's a variable between, I just looked for a job and I went and got A+ certified. I went to online classes. I read some technology books. Like, there's a big difference. So I know sometimes it's frustrating. You're out of work. You're looking for that next opportunity. But I always wake up and say, what are you going to do today to better yourself, to make sure you differentiate from every other person out there looking? You have to do some self-accountability and say, I'm going to take that initiative to learn something, to grow in some area. It's just going to make you that much more confident and take that position when it does come to you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's some good, definitely some good tips, Chris. I like that. So what are some things that have been successful for people identifying new opportunities?
So a lot of success happens in networking with the right people. There's a lot of events that you can go to in technology. One of them is TAG, Technology Association of Georgia. In your area in Florida, there are some other technology events, but these are networking events. They've gone virtual because of COVID. Obviously, they'll go back to face, but you learn a lot of intelligence around who's hiring, what companies are moving, what companies are investing. There was a big surge. In retail, some retail giants over COVID because more people were doing home projects. Home Depot is one of our accounts, and they've exploded. We have more opportunities than we know what to do with because everyone is doing home improvement. So the research that I talked about earlier, you have to follow the trends and really be aware of what's happening in the market because it will shift again. But some of the things that have been successful is people networking with each other. And when you're on LinkedIn, the great thing about the tool is you can see where people are working, you can see where people are going, and when you identify a company you like, you can pull up the entire organizational chart, and then you can communicate with HR, you can communicate with a hiring manager, because you have the ability to send messages to them directly and don't have to use a third resource if you're having struggles with that.
Yes. One thing I always tell people is learn the dynamics of LinkedIn. I mean, because it's not Facebook. It's not come over there and you got your bikini on. No, this is a work professional environment, and you definitely don't need to come over there with all your sports gear and whatever your hobbies are. You keep that on Facebook, but you definitely want to set yourself up as a professional presence over there on LinkedIn. Is that right?
So we had a situation recently where we were talking to some candidates about an opportunity, and we always look on LinkedIn. We make sure that the resume lines up with LinkedIn. There was an individual that had a picture that probably wasn't appropriate for LinkedIn, and we did not share it with the client because we know that's the first place they would go. We gave him counsel and advice, and he has since then updated, but professional photo is super important. Obviously, it's a technology site. It's not a social site. It's
right.
A platform. So that's great advice in that regard. But we were able to give that gentleman some advice. He updated his profile, and now he's landed a new opportunity. So professional photo, professional profile. And what I would do in regards to that is if you're an individual in the market looking, do some searches on LinkedIn, start pulling up some profiles of individuals and see what you like, see what stands out. And you don't have to be a resume expert like Kim and myself. You can look and say, I really like the format. I like the layout. It looks very professional. It's very clean, because you are going to have to build a really good profile to capture attention. My team that reports to me now spends 8 hours a day on LinkedIn, and they're only going to message the people that stand out, that have great profiles, that are professional. Those are the only people we reach out to. So having a very professional presence on LinkedIn is going to be very important for individuals that are looking to identify a new role during this time more than ever.
And so you kind of touched on resumes. Tell me some of the don'ts for resumes.
So resumes is a big topic. I think we could spend hours on it. And I remember working directly with you and you tapping me on the shoulder and say, you got to look at this guy's resume. You're not even going to believe what's on here. So at a bare minimum, you want to make sure that it's not novel. Clients don't want to see a 10-page resume. It doesn't matter if you're working. They don't want to sift through 10 pages. So smaller, concise, no spelling errors, no grammatical errors. Make sure the font lines up. Make sure the color looks good. It's so important. That is your profile. That is you. Because if I send you my resume, Kim, and we've never met, I may never speak to you if you don't like my resume. So it's really important to make sure that it's clean, it's neat, it's shorter, condensed, and make sure that the content is applicable. And I would make sure that you're putting a description of what you've done at your specific company, whether it's, I was in retail, this is what I did, here's some of my accomplishments. It's okay that you're looking to make a transition. That's okay. It's all about how you articulate what you did. And if it's in a professional manner, it's going to capture someone's attention. I'll give you an example. If you have someone that was in the server industry and they waited tables and so forth, we don't want to see, waited tables at, X restaurant. We want to say helped customers, gave them a great experience, increased production in the restaurant by 20%. Some of the highlights that you can say: received employee of the month, excellent customer service satisfactions, got scaling reviews on all my performance reviews. Like, those are some of the things that are highlights. So 2 things on that. One is highlight the responsibilities that you did. Secondly, highlight some of the accomplishments and some of the things that you were proud of that you got recognized for. That's going to go a long way when you are interviewing with new clients.
Yes, definitely. Love that. And then how do you feel about pictures on, their glamour shot on their resume?
Not on the resume. They're going to see it on LinkedIn. I do encourage everyone to have a LinkedIn profile, irrespective of what you've done. I would not put a picture on a resume. I think it's not the appropriate place for it. Even if it's a professional photo, it's very dated. It's not modern at all. And I am not a fan of it. And we tend to steer away. If someone has a picture on the resume, our clients are not going to entertain that.
And how do you feel about the person who has personal information that they're married with 2 kids and what their hobbies are?
So I don't hold it against them because they're not resume expert writers. You and I have spent 20 years in this business reading resumes, every single line. So as you know, if you're in this business, you're a consultant and you're supposed to help them. So I encourage them and make recommendations. If the recommendations aren't taken in, then it's not a profile that we can share. So it's really understanding what is going to be important to the hiring manager. What do they want to see? And is it really relevant? I think that's the most important thing. So whenever we have someone that puts hobbies or interests, if they're relevant to the position or they tie into the position somehow, that's okay. Like, there are clients that we have that like people that have a military background or like people that have an athletic background, and we leave that on there. But, if you're like playing chess and like checkers and this and that, that's probably not applicable, and I don't think it captures the right attention.
Right. Well, Chris, this has been a phenomenal segment. I think we've given a lot of nuggets, a lot of information. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. But I do believe that as I begin to promote this and people are available to come and watch it, that we'll get some more maybe questions and inquiries. And but I just want to say, thank you so much for coming. It has truly been a privilege to have you. And any final words?
I just wanted to thank you again. I think you're fantastic, and I hope the audience knows how special you are and just an amazing person inside and out. And every day you came in with the most positive attitude, and that was one of the reasons why I hired you. I know you were referred, but just the positive attitude, the hard work. I never had to tell you, hey, we really need to pick up the pace. Like, you just came in with the best attitude possible. And I think that's what a lot of people can walk away from. Even during this time, you were smiling ear to ear, and it is very challenging out there, but you're just absolutely a ray of sunshine to everyone, and you've been so successful your entire career because you help people, and you operating with that smile and that positive attitude, just, it's infectious. It doesn't let anyone have a bad day around you. And these are not all great days we're in right now, but if you continue to have that type of attitude and approach, you will get through anything and you will come out stronger because of it. So I greatly appreciate your time and allowing me to come and talk on this show and hopefully provide some good advice to people. I'd love to continue to help and be a part of this journey you're on. But I think it's amazing. You're giving back to the community and helping as many people as you can. And that's fantastic in my book. So I'm excited to help. And I'm glad you asked me to come on the show. And I wish we could get together for dinner and have some movies, but we're in different states. But I think you're fantastic. And I hope everyone knows you're very special. I love you to death.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much. And we'll definitely try to, get you back in the near future.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
So that's Chris Tamalas, you all. And again, he's such a rock star, stellar manager. How many managers that you've worked for that you can still bring on and have great interaction and have a great relationship with? I do want to just add that, when you are going for an interview, make sure you know something about that company, because they're going to ask you that, and you need to know something about the company that you're interviewing for. Just remember that silence creates distance, but conversations with Kim builds the village.